Hi, welcome to Kim Reads Urantia. Once again, here we're going to read from the Urantia book. But first, I've got 365 Days of Walking the Red Road by Terry Jean. Today, we are honoring Good Eagle, who was a Dakota Sioux who spoke some words, who lived in the late 19th century, that would be the 1800s, right? He was Dakota Sioux. Good Eagle in Dakota is Wanbli Washte. Wanbli Washte. Good Eagle. O ye people, be ye healed. Life anew I bring unto ye. O ye people, be ye healed. Life anew I bring unto ye. Through the Father and all do I thus. Life anew I bring unto thee. This is almost like a chant. It's almost like life anew I bring unto ye. O ye people, be ye healed. Life anew I bring unto thee. I'm going to say that all day today. Also, we remember Quanah Parker. Quanah Parker, amazing figure, Comanche. Oh, man. Of course, he was half-breed. His mother was white, but she was kidnapped from a raid and raised with Comanche. And her son, Quanah Parker, became chief and fought a war against his mother's people. In remembrance of Quanah Parker, known as the last free chief of the Comanche, who crossed over today in 1911. He never lost a battle to white troops and fought passionately for the rights of his people. He lived from 1845 to 1911. Of course, Comanche, that's a very romantic story. Where they are now, Comanche Nation. Yeah. I just kind of not want to know where in general. They are located, Comanche Nation, Oklahoma. Of course, Oklahoma is Indian state. They are south and west of Oklahoma City, kind of in the south part of Oklahoma there. Southwestern part of Oklahoma, yeah. All right, we're gonna keep going on. So thank you, Good Eagle. Thank you, Quanah Parker, for your passionate life. Okay, Dao De Ching today. Here it is. Okay, the number 23. Today is the 23rd. 23rd. 23. 23 is kind of a mystical number to me. I don't know. 23 is a prime number. 2 is a prime number. 3 is a prime number. And 2 plus 3 is 5, which is also a prime number. So it's kind of like, to me, 23 is like the king of prime numbers, being like kind of like the king of all the individuality, because prime numbers to me represent individual assertions, left brain stuff. I'm learning about left and right brain stuff. Okay. Sincerity. Okay, so we have like treetops here. Forest, pine trees. Very beautiful. Okay, I'm going to read to you about sincerity. Speak few words, but say them with quietude and sincerity, and they will be long-lasting. For a raging wind cannot blow all morning, nor a sudden rainstorm last throughout the day. Why is this so? Because it is the nature of the sky and the earth to be frugal. So be frugal with your words. Even human beings cannot alter this nature without suffering the consequences. When we sincerely follow the ethical path, we become one with it. When we become one with the ethical path, it embraces us. When we completely lose our way, we become one with loss. When we become one with loss, loss embraces us. Ooh. That's why you have to let go of what's lost, or else it'll consume you. When we sincerely follow the great integrity, we become one with it. When we are one with the great integrity, it embraces us. When nothing is done sincerely, no thing and no one embraces us. Right? When we're not doing anything sincerely, when we're just putting on shows, putting on the facade of yeah. Or serving those things that we don't believe in, really. You serve what you believe in, and then you'll be a sincere person. And the great integrity will embrace you. And that's joy. That's ecstasy. Okay, that's life. That's living. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is really, okay, the permanent citizens of the local universe, section 9 of paper 37. Okay. As with the super and central universes, the local universe has its orders of permanent citizenship. These include the following created types. 1, the Susatia. 2, the Univitatia. 3, material sons. Okay. 4, midway creatures. Okay, so these are permanent citizens. Permanent, like they're beings that came from Nebadon, that belong to Nebadon and care exclusively for Nebadon. Okay. These natives of the local creation, together with the spirit-fused ascenders and the Spiranga, who are otherwise classified Spiranga. We'll learn about the Spiranga. The Spiranga are interesting. Spiranga, according to the Urantia book, are the only classification of species that experience reincarnation, which makes me wonder if I'm a Spiranga. But it's so complicated. How do they come up with this? And it's like, oh gosh, yeah. All right, okay, well, let's content ourselves to learn about Spiranga later. Okay, who are otherwise classified, constitute a relatively permanent citizenship. These orders of beings are, and by and large, neither ascending nor descending. Okay, they are all experiential creatures, but their enlarging experience continues to be available to the universe on their level of origin. Well, this is not wholly true of the Adamic sons and midway creatures. It is relatively true of these orders. Okay. So they're experiential creatures. Why wouldn't it be wholly true of the Adamic sons and midway creatures? Because those are higher beings than I know those are higher beings than the other ones. Also, I think that they're permanent citizens of the local universe. That doesn't mean that they never leave the local universe. They go other places to visit. You know, they can, sure, and they can ascend. Maybe. They're not really ascending creatures. They are neither ascending or descending. So they just kind of hang out and they kind of teach us about Nebadon or something because they care about Nebadon. Okay. The Susaysha. These marvelous beings reside and function as permanent citizens on Salvington, the headquarters of this local universe. They are the brilliant offspring of the creative sun and creative spirit and are closely associated with the ascendant citizens of the local universe, the spirit-fused mortals of the Nebadon core of perfection. Wait, maybe I had that backwards, because I did say that the Susaysha were not, or the material sons and midway creatures were higher beings. Maybe not. Probably the Susaysha higher beings, because they are offspring of creative sun and creative spirit. But they don't, they stay on Salvington, pretty much. Okay. The Univatasha. Each of the 100 constellation headquarters clusters of architectural spheres enjoys the continuous ministry of a residential order of beings known as the Univatasha. These children of the Creator Sun and the Creative Spirit constitute the permanent population of the constellation headquarters world. Okay, so where Susaysha are the permanent inhabitants of Salvington, Univatasha are permanent residents of the constellation headquarters. Okay, they are non-reproducing beings existing on a plane of life about halfway between the semi-material status of the material sons, domiciled on the system headquarters, and the more definitely spiritual plane of the spirit-fused mortals and the Susaysha of Salvington. So they're domiciled on the system headquarters. Okay, they are non-reproducing beings on a plane of life halfway between the semi-material status of the material sons. Now, like Adam and Eve were material sons and daughters. Okay, so how are they semi-material? Semi-material status of the material sons. Okay. So these are halfway between the material sons and the more definitely spiritual plane of the spirit-fused mortals and the Susaysha of Salvington. But the Univatasha are not Morancha beings. They accomplish for ascending mortals during the traversal of the constellation spheres what the Havona natives contribute to the pilgrim spirits passing through the central creation. Okay. Okay, so they're like greet us here when we get to this constellation system level, or the Salvington level. These different, yeah, like when we're in heaven, then it feels really weird to us because we're, yeah, okay. So they're helping us there, just like, okay, the material sons of God. Okay, now we're on the material sons of God. When a creative liaison between the Creator Son and the universe representative of the Infinite Spirit, right, the Universe Mother Spirit, yeah, has completed its cycle, when no more offspring of the combined nature are forthcoming, then does the Creator Son personalize in dual form his last concept of being, thus finally confirming his own and original dual origin. Okay, so that sounds like the bestowal mission. In and of himself, he then creates the beautiful and superb sons and daughters of the material order of universe sonship. Okay. So these he does, this he creates, not in partnership though with the creative mother. Okay, this is the origin of the original Adam and Eve of each local system of Nebadon. They are a reproducing order of sonship, being created male and female. Their progeny function as the relatively permanent citizens of a system capital, though some are commissioned as planetary atoms. Okay. Okay, so this is besides the bestowal mission thing. So it's dual order of sonship, right? So the material sons come forth through the Creator Son. Okay. Okay, so their progeny, there are lots of them as permanent citizens of the system capital, but some of them are planetary atoms, like Adam and Eve, right? The material sons. Yeah, so not all of them are like actual material, like here, like us. They have to be commissioned to take a material body, but that's a potential that they have. On a planetary mission, the material son and daughter are commissioned to found the Adamic race of that world, a race designed eventually to amalgamate with the mortal inhabitants of that sphere. Planetary atoms are both descending and ascending sons, but we ordinarily class them as ascending. Okay, because they descend from the higher plane of material sons down to the planetary atom, where they're bestowed on a planet here to reproduce and uplift our race. Okay, but then they can ascend. Then they take that mission, they ascend again. Okay, so we normally class them as ascending. Okay, the midway creatures. In the early days of most inhabited worlds, certain superhuman but materialized beings are of assignment. But they usually retire upon the arrival of the planetary atoms. The transactions of such beings and the efforts of the material sons to improve the evolutionary races often result in the appearance of a limited number of creatures who are difficult to classify. Okay. Early superhuman but materialized beings are of assignment. Okay, these unique beings are often midway between the material sons and the evolutionary creatures, hence their designation, midway creatures. Okay, this is my idea. This is what I think were like the ancient Greek gods and ancient Sumerian gods and things like that. They're material, but they're superhuman, kind of, or like all these races of Marvel superheroes or whatever. I think that's what they are. If they have, because thought forms can have like a relatively permanent existence relative to flesh existence. Okay, so that's what I think. That's my take on it. That's what I think of as the what level, that one level of reality that's in between the absonite level of reality. Okay, but okay. These unique beings are often midway between the material sons and the evolutionary creatures, hence their designation, midway creatures. In a comparative sense, these midwayers are the permanent citizens of the evolutionary worlds. From the early days of the arrival of a planetary prince to the far distant time of the settling of the planet in light and life, they are the only group of intelligent beings to remain continuously on the sphere. On Urantia, the midway ministers are in reality the actual custodians of the planet. They are in reality the custodians of the planet. They are, practically speaking, the citizens of Urantia. Where, we were born here, but this is not our destiny, our highest destiny. I used to think, this was the home that I'm most attached to, and that's kind of like wearing off on me. I mean, I love my earth, my Urantia. Yeah, but yeah. But my home is elsewhere, right? My true home. Like you're born adrift at sea in a ship destined for somewhere, and then you grow up, and what are these kids? They grow up in refugee camps or something like that. And that refugee camp, that's not their home. They have a home. But this whole earth is like a ship wandering around in the universe, and it's not my home. Mortals are indeed the physical and material inhabitants of an evolutionary world, but you are also short-lived. You tarry on your nativity planet such a short time. You are born, live, die, and pass on to other worlds of evolutionary progression. Yeah, like Battlestar Galactica or something like that. You're on this ship that's going somewhere. You don't know where you're going. But you'll know when you get there, right? Even the superhuman beings who serve on the planets as celestial ministers are of transient assignment. Few of them are long attached to a given sphere. The midway creatures, however, provide continuity of planetary administration in the face of ever-changing celestial ministries and constantly shifting mortal inhabitants. So they're kind of continuous. But some of them rebelled. Some of them are not very nice. Throughout all of this never ceasing changing and shifting, the midway creatures remain on the planet uninterruptedly, carrying on their work. Okay, so this is a thing, and I think people used to worship them, and that was a mistake. And they encouraged that, which is not part of what they're supposed to do. But they were also corrupted by the Caligastia rebellion and all this too. In like manner, all divisions of the administrative organization of the local universes and superuniverses have their more or less permanent populations, inhabitants of citizenship status. As Urantia has its midwayers, Jerusalem, your system capital, has the material sons and daughters. Okay. Urantia, your constellation headquarters, has the Univitatia, while the citizens of Salvington are twofold, the created Susatia and the evolved spirit-fused mortals. Okay, so this is kind of a level thing. I'm thinking about this leveling out thing. Again, this structure. Urantia has the midwayers, right? The system capital holds the material sons and daughters, right? And then a step up from that is the constellation. Urantia is our constellation headquarters. The Univitatia are stationed there, and then the Susatia are stationed. So these are like ministers on these levels here. So Salvington has a Susatia, plus they're kind of associated with the spirit-fused mortals. Right, which is, yeah. So I think there's a special divine destiny for every mortal being who has the intention of being righteous, being good. You can be good, right? Okay. Okay, the administrative worlds of the minor and major sectors of the super universes do not have permanent citizens. Okay. That's kind of, those are kind of like this big gap between, like things going on down here in the universe. And there's this big gap here in the major and minor sectors. But the Uversa headquarters spheres are continuously fostered by an amazing group of beings known as the Abundantes, the creation of the unrevealed agents of the Ancients of Days and the 7 reflective spirits resident on the capital of Orvanton. So these Abundantes are like ministry permanent citizens of Orvanton headquarters of Uversa, right? Abundantes. Don't confuse that with Agendantes. We're Agendantes because we live in a planet we have believed without seeing, so we're Agendantes. We've demonstrated supreme faith if we are able to emerge successfully from trial on this planet, this difficult planet, Urantia. Okay, so Abundantes come from unrevealed agents of the Ancients of Days and the 7 reflective spirits resident on the capital of Orvanton. These residential citizens on Uversa are at present administering the routine affairs of their world under the immediate supervision of the Uversa core of the sun-fused mortals. Okay, Uversa core of sun-fused mortals. Even Havona has its native beings. And the central Isle of Light and Life is the home of the various groups of paradise citizens. Right, we talked about the Havona citizens before. Okay, that they're sun-fused mortals. See, I've gone on to thinking that sun fusion must be this tricky thing. But there's a core of sun-fused mortals. Okay, I can't really explain that. I can't go into that right now. But somewhere it says sun fusion can be troublesome. Somewhere I remember it said that. These residential citizens, so there's the abandoners. Abandoned. Abandoners. The routine affairs of their world under the immediate supervision of the versicore of the sun-fused mortals. So there are sun-fused mortals. Okay, I'm going to let that go. All right, okay. Have a really good day. Love you very much. Keep reading.